And then we're going to get started. I hope all of you are having an incredible Friday. I'm super excited to be on here with you today, and I'm going to share with you a weight loss hack you didn't know you needed. I am Tina Joy Carroll, and I have lost over 30 pounds in the last year using a metabolic health system that I'm going to tell you all about. As you know, I'm sure you have seen a ton of different weight loss systems out there, and maybe you've even tried some. How many of you out there, you feel like you've tried everything and maybe nothing worked for you? Because that was my story. I was stuck at 160 pounds and I could not get the scale to move. And I was doing all the right things. I was working out, I was eating right, and my body was just, I felt like broken. What I didn't know was that it had to do with my hormone health and my overall metabolic health. And so, what I'm really excited to share with you today is the hack I didn't know I needed. So here is what happens when you address the core root of what is actually wrong, then the side effect of that is suddenly your body starts to release the weight. How incredibly cool is that? And so I'm going to dive into just three of the things that I've used to help me go from 160 pounds to now about 128 pounds, give or take a few pounds any day. Sometimes it's 125, sometimes it's 130, but that is where I'm at. I'm the healthiest weight I've been in my adult life. I feel better at 49 years old than I did in my 20s. I have more energy than I've ever had. And bigger than that, I've gotten my overall metabolic health under control. And so today I'm going to share with you why it's working so well and what these products exactly do. And to do that, I'm going to start out doing a fun little demonstration for you. And so the first thing I want to talk about today is your gut health. Most people aren't addressing this first, and this is why they are struggling so badly. So statistically, 8 out of 10 people have poor gut health. And if your gut is off, quite literally everything is going to be off. So this pudding pack right here is going to represent a couple of things. It's going to represent kind of the current state of your existing gut. So how many of you know about an old pipe that's just kind of filled with muck and yuck, right? That's kind of what this pudding is going to represent. Imagine like it's just your gut is just filled with muck and yuck from years of intentional or unintentional abuse. And then it's also going to represent the very processed diets that we are eating today. And so I'm going to put a couple of these in here, and we're just going to talk about all the reasons you want to get your gut healthy. So, like I said, statistically, 8 out of 10 people have poor gut health. My friend, Dr. Don, says it's really more like 9 out of 10 people at this point because of how highly processed all of our foods are. And so, what does that mean for you? As you can see, I just dumped those capsules in there, and we're going to stir it and we're going to talk. Well, your gut and your brain are connected through the vagus nerve. If your gut health is off, quite literally, everything is going to be off. You are going to feel like poo. Your mental health starts in your gut. Autoimmune starts in your gut. Tummy issues start in your gut. So many of your hormones are produced in your gut. Also, your serotonin is in your gut. Your GLP-1 is in your gut. And so if your gut health is off, your body is going to struggle to communicate with your brain properly. And everything else that you do, if your gut is healthy, your body is going to respond to better. How many of you are watching right now and you've used this incredible product and it has been life changing for you? And here's what's really cool about it. You only have to take it before you eat. You're going to take this product before you eat. And here's what it's going to do. It's going to break down the fats, the carbs, the sugars, and the proteins that you eat so your body can absorb what it needs and get rid of what it doesn't. It's also got a pre and a probiotic in it. Now, why is that important? Well, statistically, if you were to take antibiotics twice in a 12-month period, you are going to have you are 40 times more likely to develop anxiety and depression. Why? Because the microbiome is off in your gut. And so getting a good pre and a probiotic in your system is going to help you overcome that. It's also going to help with things like indigestion, heartburn. I mean, if your skin you're like, if for me, before I got on this product, I was like, I was breaking out like a teenage boy. Your skin is going to be clearer. You're going to feel so much better. Also, how many of you on here are watching today have had your gallbladder removed? Let me just answer that. Put a 1 in the chat if you have had your gallbladder removed. As you can see, I didn't stir that very long at all. and it completely liquefied that pudding because it's breaking it down. And here is how this is working. Because our bodies don't have the living enzymes in our food to break it down the way God designed our bodies to work, that is how come our gut is such a mess. So this is going to break it down the way our bodies were designed to work. Okay. Super duper duper important for you to understand that. Then once your gut is healthy, you are going to feel like a new human. Now back to my gallbladder comment. Back in 2021, I had to have an emergency gallbladder removal surgery. I was so grateful to get that darn thing out. If you've had gallbladder issues, you know how incredibly painful that they are. I thought it was going to solve all of my problems. I was like, just take this thing out because I swear it's trying to kill me. What I didn't realize was I would suffer from a whole new set of issues when the gallbladder was gone. As a matter of fact, whenever we would go out to eat or go to friends' houses to have dinner, it was quite embarrassing because what I would eat would cause me to have to run, not walk, to the nearest restroom. This right here single-handedly took care of that for me. And so if you're struggling with any issue that is related to your gut, and I promise you, if you were to chat GPT it or Google it, you would see most issues start in your gut. This right here is going to get your gut healthy and you're going to feel like a new human. And now we are working at the core root of what is going on with you. Then we're going to add this system right here. This system right here, not only am I telling you it's life-changing, but it also won the International Stevie Award. I want you to think of it as like the Oscars for the supplement world. And simply put, the reason that it won is because it does exactly what I'm about to tell you that it does. This is what it looks like when you get it. You're going to get this fun little guide in there. In this guide, it's filled with incredible information for you, but I want to focus on two areas of this guide. The first one is this piece right here on mind over matter. Now, over the last 6 years, I've lost a total of 110 pounds. And here's what I can tell you. To get healthy is one thing. To stay healthy is a whole different thing. And I love that they included this piece in here on mind over matter because it's really about getting your mindset around living a healthy lifestyle. And then the second thing I want to point out is this page right here where it talks about the core of what's really wrong with most people, and it's their overall metabolic health. Now, you may be like me and you'd be like, well, that's a fancy word. What does that even mean? Well, it's made up of 5 things. It is your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your waist circumference, your triglycerides, and your cholesterol levels. When we address all 5 of those concerns with this system, suddenly you are going to feel like a new human and you're going to get the results that you've been wanting for so long. You've just assumed that your body is completely broken and not working. So let's dive into these 2 products and what they do. This one right here. This right here is quite literally revolutionary. This is a plant-based enzyme that is going to convert the carbs and sugars that you eat into soluble fiber in your gut before it hits your bloodstream. Now, let me explain why this is so very important and so powerful. 97 million Americans are walking around right now insulin resistant and pre-diabetic and they don't even know it. Statistically, 20 to 50% of those 97 million people won't even figure it out until they have a full-blown type 2 diabetic diagnosis. Then you have another 34 million Americans that are walking around with type 2 diabetes. They're now saying that type 3 diabetes is memory issues. I don't have to tell you the names of those diseases for you to know what I'm talking about. The point I'm really trying to make is that carbs and sugars are a real problem in our diet, and they're causing our bodies to break. They're causing our bodies to break and not work the way they're supposed to. So there was an enzymologist at a very prestigious university up north that studied these plants for 10 years. And he found this plant-based enzyme that converts carbs and sugar into soluble fiber in your gut before it hits your bloodstream. Now, let me explain why this is powerful. Every time you eat carbs and sugars, your blood sugar is spiking and dipping and spiking and dipping. Over time, you literally wear out your pancreas, and that is how you become insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, and then into a full-blown type 2 diabetic diagnosis. So what this is doing is it's converting those carbs and sugars in your gut, which is why we wanted to get your gut healthy, get in your gut before it hits your bloodstream. So then, in the absence of those carbs and sugars, guess what happens? Your body is forced to burn fat for fuel. Your body will always burn carbs and sugars for fuel for your body first. In the absence of that, it's going to burn the fat. Okay. Number two, this has a very, very powerful thermogenic in it. It's called Grains of Paradise. Now, have you ever said to yourself, if my metabolism would show up to the party, that would be incredible. But I think she's on a permanent vacation. That is how I felt when I was stuck at 160 pounds. I was like, this broad is on a permanent vacation. She's not going to show back up to the party. That wasn't true. I just needed good supplements to get my body working the way it was designed to work. Suddenly, your body is going to start to work the way it was designed to work. Then we have this product right here. Now, this is a delicious tropical flavored drink. It literally, I want you to think of like a hot summer day and drinking a refreshing, fruity drink. That is what this is going to taste like. Now, before I tell you everything this amazing product does, I want to share with you a little bit about something I'm sure you've all heard about. GLP-1. How many of you are watching right now? Put a 2 in the chat if you have heard about Ozempic, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, semaglutide, any of those, right? Here's what I want you to know about them. I'm not here to tell you whether they're good for you or bad for you. I just want you to understand what they are, how they work, and why, if you're using them, you want to hear me out. And if you have no desire to ever use those, you want to hear me out. All of those have one thing in common. They're all a synthetic version of the GLP-1 hormone. Now, you produce GLP-1 in your body. It's just as we age, we don't produce as much of it. And so the GLP-1 hormone is responsible for making you feel fuller faster and longer and quieting that food noise. How many of you have ever been in your pantry at 8 o'clock at night and you're like, I am literally not hungry. Why am I standing here? You know what I'm talking about. You get a case of the Snacky Snackersons and you can't stop it, right? That is what the GLP-1 hormone does. Now, here's the other fact you need to know. Anytime you inject anything synthetic into your body, which is what these medications do, it's a synthetic form of the GLP-1 hormone, it then sends a signal to your brain and says, we're getting plenty of this. We don't need to produce it at all anymore. And so statistically, 2/3 of people who come off of those medications will gain all of their weight back and then some. The reason being is because they had no exit strategy. There wasn't an exit strategy. And so they come off of those medications and now their body's not producing any GLP-1 because it's not needed to, because it's been getting plenty of it. So whether you're on the shot and you're looking for an exit strategy or you have no interest in being on the shot whatsoever, let me tell you what this is going to do. This is a plant-based product that is going to help you naturally increase your own GLP-1 hormone, which is going to make you feel fuller, faster, and longer, and it's going to quiet that food noise. It's also got ingredients in it that are going to activate your AMPK. Now, you can Google all the things your AMPK does when it's activated. I want to focus on two. When your AMPK is activated, that sends a signal to your brain for your body to burn fat for fuel. Remember, I said one of those 5 metabolic health markers was your waist circumference? Did you know the fat you carry in your midsection just so happens to be the most dangerous fat on your body because it surrounds all your major organs? So it's going to target that specific fat. Plus, and this is just science, friends, when your AMPK is activated, your body cannot store fat. So we use this one, it forces our body to burn fat. We use this one and we can't store fat. Do I need to say more? Like, is everybody ready to get this right now because of just those 2 facts alone? And then last but certainly not least, there's also ingredients in this that are going to help lower your cortisol levels. Now, your cortisol is your stress hormone. How many of you felt a little stressed out lately? Put a 3 in the chat, right? This is going to lower your cortisol levels, calming your stress hormone down. And when that cortisol levels are high, inflammation in your body is going to be rampant. And inflammation is super duper dangerous to your body. As a matter of fact, all disease is born from inflammation. And so just by drinking this one drink, you are going to feel like a new human. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, I don't have it here to show you, is our protein product. We have a clear protein. How many of you need to get more protein in your diet? You just don't know how. And you're not a huge fan of thick shakes that you have to drink and all of that. Well, I've got good news for you. We have a juice, a protein juice. It's literally just a liquid juice that you could drink to get 20 grams of protein called Clear. And we have one that also includes energy. If you're somebody that would like to maybe not have as many cups of coffees or get off of energy drinks entirely, then that is going to be for you. And then the last thing I'll say is this: if you're someone that is interested at all in earning an additional income, do not tune me out just yet. I know what it's like to be skeptical. As a matter of fact, 9.5 years ago, when I got into this industry, I was the biggest skeptic of them all. I was like, girl, not only am I not going to do this, I think it's a little bit embarrassing that you're doing it. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And here's what I can tell you: 9.5 years into this industry, it is absolutely worth taking a look at. Take it from a girl who's a high school dropout, a teenage mom who literally had no like training or anything to do anything like what I do today. What I'm really trying to point out is that this industry is quite literally for anyone. You, me, and everyone in between. And so just be open to taking a look at what we have our hands on. All you have to do is this: if you've heard something today that made you think, you know what, I really need to get on these products, then get back in touch with the person that invited you to watch this video and tell them you are ready to get started on this system. And then if you're thinking to yourself, it'd be really cool if I could sell enough even just to pay for my own products, let them know that. They can show you a quick video where you can decide if it's a good fit for you. And here's what's cool: if it's not a good fit, we have tens of thousands of customers. We welcome you as a customer. We just want you to know there is options out there for you to earn some additional income if you decide to do it. So with that, we are going to jump off here. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day. I will see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone.